Alright, welcome back everybody. Tonight is a barbarian night. We're going to be hopping on to some of the planners for some of the strongest barbarian builds going into season 11. And I will have a tier list before the season goes live. Hey, Born Dead. And I'm going to be doing some work on Tuesday when I'm off on making sure that everything gets put together and is live before everybody hops in. But I think tonight we're going to work on some planners and then cover all of the changes for the Barbarian that are coming up. So I'm pretty excited for what they've done to the Barbarian. It received the most buffs out of any class that hit the patch notes this season, and there were no nerfs whatsoever. It was just all buff, buff, and more buffs. So we are looking pretty good. So we're going to take a look at Hammer of the Ancients. We're going to take a look at Hammer Whirlwind. And we're also going to take a look at Lunging Strike, which are going to be some of the strongest builds in Season 11. Hey, Slick. Hey, bud. Hey, Indy. Thank you. I appreciate it. We will keep on putting out some builds. Oh. Hey, Star Knight. I also need to get myself a Z DPS Barbarian, but I gotta look into see how I want to build that. I'm not too sure how. I obviously Field of Crimson is going on because that's huge. But I gotta look at that and see. I've never actually like played a Z DPS build before, so it'll be fun to do that. Hey, Lacopa. Okay. All right, I think we're all just about set up. I am so tired. I am ready for bed. I have not got much sleep last night, or in the last couple nights. But, okay. I actually have a couple days off before the launch of the season, so that will be very welcomed. My day was okay. I worked all day. How was your day? 7 p.m. where I'm at. I have no idea, Lacopa, but this is not the first class that PoE has released. This would be their second release of a class. Oh, nice. What were you doing for Texas Jazz? Might do Barbarian next, because I'll have my cosmetic that I want to use. That's a great reason to do it. Part of the leveling guide here, and one of the very first things that you have to do is right here, your cosmetics. Because you can't do good if you don't look good. About the warrior or the barbarian? Barb? I'm always feeling good about the Barb. Always. Maybe we'll get a new class without a new expansion. That would be very interesting. But also, the only thing that everybody is saying right now, and I don't believe, I'm not going to believe any speculation until Blizzard announces it, and everything that people say, I'm not going to even bother with. But people think that they're going to release a class if you pre-order the expansion pack. You can play the new class. That's what people think is going to happen. But I don't know. That'd be very weird because they would still need so much time to work on the class unless they've been working on it the whole time. I have no idea. Who knows? That's the latest rumor that's going around. If they release it, I'll play it, and then we'll go back to the Barbarian. If they don't release it, we'll go right back to the Barbarian. Perfectly fine. I don't really need any new classes. I'm having fun just playing these here. But I'm sure that we're going to get something very soon. Just started playing for the first time yesterday. Biggest tip, come over to my website here, clipsis.com. Hop into the Diablo 4 videos, and then go to the game how-to videos. I make guides for people that are just starting, that are returning. We got a whole bunch of stuff for you, but take your time through the campaign. That's the best way to learn the game. Don't skip out on the purple quests, because even though it's very easy to skip, thank you for the follow, Dirt, don't skip because you're going to miss some really key important things. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, back chat. How's it going today? Okay. First time seeing me live. I'm live every night this time. It's not slower, the leveling. That's just everybody doom saying. The leveling was the same, if not faster. Hey, Rock, how's it going? No, so the first couple levels are, but then they sped up the end of it. That might have been it, Dirt. Yeah, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Okay, let me just make sure this hammer build here. No, I got to do a couple different hammer builds. I want to do just a regular smash, hold a button, which will rely on Zan to overpower, since we're not going to be running Banished Lord's Talisman, except for in the Mythic version. So it won't overpower quite as often. So, hey Dean, how are you today? Well, thanks for watching, Dirt. Weekend finally here again for everybody but me. I'm not off till Tuesday. Barb songs have... Barb has gotten very strong, and I actually think I'm going to record a quick video before I actually get into the planners, just about the barbarian buffs and stuff that they're bringing into the game and what that means for the barbarian this season. Buff Barian, that's the one we got. It was straight buffs, no nerfs, massive buffs. to the barbarian. This obviously is going to take the damage multiplier for the barbarians down a ton, but I'm not too sure what they're going to bring in, but we'll see. I'm not really too concerned about a new class. We'll get something soon, but that's okay, Dirt. I put my time into D2 early on when the game released, back when it was still pixelated. I'm happy to play something new. Alright, so we have this here. We got Ancients build here. Lunging Strike I'm going to be updating tonight also. This one is... I actually have to redo the leveling guides. Just the skill tree. But man, that's a bummer. I have to do that. Because I don't really know what the new leveling path is going to look like. The 11th max. You can check that all out. For anybody that's curious. I think it's right here. Somewhere on here. Do they have the countdown up here yet? Maybe not. The timer is... Maybe it's on their website, but there is a countdown timer. That is very bright. Why did it open up here? Where was the timer? There was a timer. But yeah, the 11th at 8:30 PT is when it launches. Whirlwind Hammer. Oh wait, Whirlwind Hammer is gonna be good. Bill, thank you for the 19 months in a row. Yeah, Kerr. Or you could go with like the actual correct time, which is 6:30 p.m. HST. That's the real time. So chill, I'm guessing that because you're here, surgeries are done. Or you're still waiting on the one. Leveling guy. Nah, okay. Gotcha. You did a prep Thursday. Gotcha, okay. Why does it do this every time on this? Every single time I switch it to dark mode, every time. Why? Tell me, why? This here? Work? It does work, except look what it did. Took it right out of dark mode again. Every time. I don't understand. It will not save. It saves on my other computers, but will not save on this one. Look at that. No more dark mode. Nope. I am not. This doesn't like me. I mean, I guess I don't blame it. Oh. Oh, what? Why would they cancel it the day that you went in? What happened? Did something come up in the prep? Hey, Death. Hey, Philip. How are you today? Hey, Jesse. I'm gonna record a video on the barbarian changes. Then we're gonna work on the final updates for the planners because Mobalytics has updated everything. We have sanctification in there. We have all of the divine gifts in there. So we're gonna finish up all of the planners. I have to have them all done by the 9th. So I have 4 days to go back through all the planners, re-at everything. Hey, Farshed. So, oh man, that's good. Yeah, just in time, Kirk. That's crazy. I'm very far. Not even close. Second most viewed streamer. What the heck? I'm just kidding. Thank you. uh, yeah, this is the season to do it, honestly, with Chaos Armor and with the double Mother's Blessing. This was definitely the season to do it. This is getting a buff right here. But not for damage for the Barbarian. Damage for everybody else. And a big multiplier at that. BR. 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 Battle Royale. DJ? Yeah. I'm pretty excited about this. We're gonna record a Barbarian video real quick. Backroom Diablo. So Brazil streamers, that makes more sense, I guess. That's honestly probably pretty important, Chill. That is definitely very important. Yeah, no, there's really not much you can do then. All right, let me grab my water real fast, and then we're gonna get on with this video for this beautiful barbarian right here. Oh my gosh, I am ready for bed. Jeez, so tired. Just, uh, gosh, okay, I'm gonna turn off alerts, and I'm gonna turn off, oh wait, shoot, let me open up this here. Multi-chat. The same sets of items? What do you mean by the same sets of items? There's not a lot of different variants of items in the game. The loot pool is pretty small, and you don't need anything more than 1 GA to get into high levels of the pit and to get into Torment 4. I have a bunch of videos on how to do it in this current season. It's going to change next season, but you don't you need 1 star GA gear, and that's it. Hey, Big Papa. Kind of. I actually work that day. I'm gonna have to leave early because I want to be on to stream the Game Awards. And then it launches right after the Game Awards are done. So, no bueno. Which is really bad for me because I don't like staying up late. I hate it. Hate it. Okay. Testing sound. I am not unemployed. I work this job here, making content, and I work full time. Yeah, I can imagine it is. Yeah. All right. In That's fine. Then. And Dan. Should be able to do that over here too. This thing in. Only place that I can't do that is on TikTok. I can't even pin my own comments on TikTok. I don't understand. It's weird. So strange. All right, we're gonna just record this barbarian video real quick. Then I'll get back to chat after. And you guys can ask some questions about the barbarian or builds or whatever it is. We're gonna do that. And then we're gonna work on some more planners tonight. But I will be doing planners every single day until they are all done. We have a lot to do. All right. Wanderers, this big hunk of a barbarian here is getting some massive buffs in Season 11. We're going to go over all of the changes. There were simply 0 nerfs. I'm super excited to hop onto the barbarian in Season 11. We're going to highlight a couple of the builds. We're going to talk about all of the buffs and why we are going to be hitting incredibly hard. The season is going to be going live on Thursday, the 11th. It's going to go live right after the Games Awards. If you haven't heard yet, we were strongly urged to watch the Games Awards. Something is happening because Blizzard launched their brand new season immediately after it's over. We'll go to find out exactly what that is, but we'll be hopping onto the Barbarian after. So I'll be live then if you guys want to stop by, check out and see where the Barbarian's at. I'll show you all of the planners that we're going to have. Mobalytics went through a massive update on their website, completely overhauled everything. It looks amazing. So we'll show you all of that, all the new features that they brought, and we'll get to check out this barbarian here. So the first thing that we're going to cover is we're going to talk about the patch notes and what got changed. Right off the bat, the very first line that we got to read was that the strength multiplier is getting a 10% increase. That just means, straight off the bat, barbarians are getting a 10% increase to all of their damage. Now, how does that work? In the game here, if you look, every single class, it's all the same. Whatever your main stat is, and you can tell by looking at it here, it says that it increases skill damage. That is all of your damage, no matter what you're doing. So you get 10% of it currently. Now you're going to get 10. Wait, 10. I forgot my water. I got distracted by the dogs. And 1. That's 10%, right? Yeah, I'm going to. For 10 points of strength 1. Yes. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yep. Okay. We're just going to pick right back up where we left off. Yes, it is 10%. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to get 10% of your strength, your total strength. And as you can see, barbarians love to stack strength. You're going to be stacking strength no matter what. They're buffing that, and this is just giving us a straight 10% increase to the damage that we're going to be getting per 10 points of strength. That is amazing. Barbarians were currently the lowest from their main stat out of all of the classes, simply because the barbarian has 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons that are always active. So they lowered their main stat scaling to try and help the other classes keep up. That wasn't quite enough. All the other classes sometimes were outshining the barbarian, so in the highest levels of the pit. So they are now giving us a nice big boost here. When we come down to the skills, pick and all brawling skills are going to be getting a new update they're going to have a brand new item that's going to be in the game here. And we'll go over to Mobalytics and we'll pull it up. It's going to be brand new pants, and they are going to increase your brawling damage. Now, the brawling build will definitely not be the strongest in the game, and not the strongest for the barbarian, but they will be probably some of the fastest, and in my opinion, some of the most barbarian and fun builds to play. Whenever you cast a brawling damaging skill, so anything that has the brawling tag that damages an enemy, it's going to be disabled. You cannot use it anymore. When all of your skills on your bar are disabled, they will be re-enabled with their cooldowns refreshed, and your brawling skills are going to deal up to 100% increased damage for each disabled skill. Kick is going to be the strongest out of all of those. Kick is going to get some buffs this season, and with this here, we're going to be building a kick build, and you're going to put as many brawling damaging builds and items on your bar, and it's going to hit for probably billions and hundreds of billions of damage. In season 10, and that has chaos armor, so you got to take this with a grain of salt, Kick was doing upwards of 400 to 500 billion damage. Now we're going to get some brawling pants, so we're going to be kicking things. Pretty excited about this. So Kick also got another buff here. They widened the hitbox, so they doubled the radius that Kick will hit. That's going to give it some big AoE, which is absolutely needed with a build like that. Power Kick, they reverted the Fury cap from the PTR. Everything on the PTR had a cap because the Melted Heart of Selig was scaling things through the roof. Barbarians had 50,000 Fury as a total for the Fury pool, and it was just pretty insane. So they had to cap things so that, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, they didn't have multipliers like a 25,000x, which we had on the PTR. So that's where the caps were. They've changed Selig, which were some really good changes, and I'm excited to see how it feels. But now we have removed all of the caps, which is really good for Hammer of the Ancients. And we'll talk about why when we look at our Hammer of the Ancients build, which we have up here, because Hammer of the Ancients is going to scale off of maximum Fury. And if they had put a cap on it, we would be getting less than what we're going to get going into season 11. So I'm very excited about that. The leap attack speed has been adjusted. Now, we knew this was coming. In one of the interviews, the developers said that because they had brought back the speed from the Sorks with teleport, they were going to scale back leap a little bit. They didn't tell us how. The only way that they really could do that was just to reduce the speed scaling that they had. Now, leap was incredibly fast on the PTR. It is now going to be affected by attack speed. In the current season, in season 10, leap is the static animation. No matter what, it moves at the same exact speed. It is just leap, 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 leap. On the PTR, with the new attack speed scaling, you were basically as fast as a Sork was with infinite teleport. So they're going to scale that back just a little bit. It's still going to be faster than it is right now, and it will still be the fastest speed farming build. And with some of the changes that they made to Selig, Leap Quake will be a very viable build and will do quite a bit of damage, so it will probably be the #1 speed farming build for the Barbarian, which is incredibly fun and very fast. I really love Leap in general. It is one of my favorite abilities, so that was a really great change. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to talk about Hammer of the Ancients because I am so excited about this. They changed Enhanced Hammer of the Ancients. In the game right now, Enhanced Hammer of the Ancients is going to give you Fury scaling. This is just Fury generation, and it gives you 3%, and that's every single time that you damage any enemy. So if you hit, and that goes up to 10 times, so you can get 30% increased Fury generation if you hit 10 enemies. Once, if you don't, then every single cast of Hammer of the Ancients will give you 3% increasing stacks. What they did add to this, which is massive, is they added in any time that you use Hammer of the Ancients, your maximum Fury is going to go up by 100. So this says up to 100. I don't know if they're going to add in a stack or not, or if it's going to be 10% like the Fury generation is here, but they have also increased your fury generation that you gain from 3% to 10%. So that means you get 100% increased fury generation. So if your fury generation is currently sitting at, let's say, 50 fury per second that you generate on a hit, now you will generate 100 fury. Why all of this is super important. Why you want the increased fury generation. Why you want the increase to maximum fury. This node right here, Fury's Hammer of the Ancients. Hammer of the Ancients is going to gain 5% critical strike damage and critical strike chance for every 10 fury that you have when you cast it. Its critical strikes are going to knock down enemies. That's really not too important. Two things. That 100%, that 100 fury that you're going to gain is going to give you 50x critical strike damage and give you 50% critical strike chance. Now, with the way that this works, Hammer of the Ancients will have 100% critical strike chance, so you don't have to worry about that. It's also going to give you fury generation, which this is only going to apply based on how much fury you have at the moment. So the more fury that you can generate, the better it is. So if you want to spam a hammer, you want maximum fury, and that means a lot of fury generation. So both of these buffs here are absolutely insane for this build here. Then they took anger management, which anger management in the season here, all it does is when you are berserking, we'll pull it up here. While you're above 40 fury, you're going to be berserking all the time. You're going to drain 2 fury per second, which is incredibly small with the amount of fury generation you have. That's what this does. With how easy it is to be berserking in the current season, this never really gets touched. Now, this is going to give us up to 30x increased damage, and we're always going to be berserking now. This is a really big one. It's only going to drain 3 fury. Again, that's very, very small. There's a lot of different ways to counteract that. So this is a really cool change here to see, especially for leveling, because if you find this early on, and even a 10x early on in the game, and you're always berserking, that's going to give you an extra 25x and an extra 10x on top of that. It's going to make your leveling process a lot better, and is also possibly going to make it one less shout on your brawling build, because you don't have to have Warcry up in order to be berserking. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to get to mess around with this change here. Chain Scourge, we actually just went over, but what they're going to be doing, this is the new Brawling Pants. The shorter cooldown for the last brawling skill used before re-enabling all of them is now going to scale based on your attack speed. On the PTR, some people were running into an issue where, and this was with Leap, and you really got to see it with Leap because they were trying to bounce out around all over the place. When you would land and Leap was supposed to reset, there would be a very, very small delay before you could Leap again. That was the re-enabling. Now, that re-enabling is going to be based on attack speed, so I'm assuming with enough attack speed, we're going to be able to leap incredibly fast, and it's also going to set our cooldown of that leap to 0 again as well, which means that we won't have to run giant strides, which is the only way to make the infinite leap work without that small delay. It's all based on speculation. We haven't actually got to try it yet, but based on this right here, it looks like we will have that extra damage slot opened up, because giant strides is going to take up a slot in your ring to just increase the amount of damage that we're going to get in that skill. So this is very, very cool. This right here, Field of Crimson. Field of Crimson is going to make what has not been done in Diablo 4 purposefully yet, a Z DPS barbarian build. The blood pool's bonus damage is no longer only going to apply to the casting player. So if we look at Field of Crimson here, Field of Crimson, while using this weapon, damaging at least one enemy with Rupture creates a blood pool that inflicts an X number of bleeding on an enemy, but enemies standing inside of the pool take up to 70x increased damage. And now that is going to affect everyone, which is very cool. So if you're running in a party and someone has a Field of Crimson on, you're going to have some way to apply bleed so that you can get the pool down. And the pool is pretty big and pretty noticeable. It's this big red blotch on the ground. When those enemies go in there, you're going to hit harder because they're standing inside of that pool, even though you didn't cast this. So that is a very, very cool change that they're making, and they're going to be giving us this brand new setup for a Z DPS and more group mechanics. It's going to be pretty cool to see when we get into the tower, because there will be group rankings. Now, for anybody that hasn't heard, the tower will be coming in January. It will not be launching at the start of the season. Kind of a big bummer, but it's going to give us some time to get some gear, get set up, work on our new builds, learn how to play them. So we do miss out on the fresh start. Nobody has any gear. We hop into the tower, but probably in Season 12, we'll get that nice fresh start. Taking a look at the Paragon board. Now, the Barbarians actually just had a pretty big refresh of the Paragon legendary nodes. They changed around a lot of multipliers. They changed around a lot of ways that they worked, and they have just buffed so many of the nodes. And not even just small buffs. Hemorrhage, which is going to be your bleeding damage, got a 33% increase to its damage. Blood Rage got a 33% increase to its damage. Carnage got a 50% increase to its damage. Decimator got a 25% increase to its damage. Flawless Technique got a 50% increase to its damage. Weapon Mastery, same thing, another 50% increase to damage. And then we have Undaunted, which at least they're looking at it. But this glyph definitely still needs a little bit of help. But it is definitely a buff. It's going to apply to our toughness if you do need it. But when you're thinking about glyphs, there's very few times where you're going to run a defensive glyph. If you're having trouble staying alive, then you might do that. But very, very big buffs to all of the damage that the Barbarian is going to be doing. They did go through and take a look at tempering. Now, affixes removed. They removed damage while Warcry is active, because nobody has ever used that in a build that has been viable to push high-level pits. It's just not something that is put in there. Arsenal Finesse is going to be gone. So Arsenal Finesse, if we come over here and we look at our weapon slot here on the Tempers, which I don't have any of these on here. We'll grab one of these. So Arsenal Finesse, if you go into your Tempers here, I believe this was in right here, we're going to be losing two-handed bludgeoning weapon damage, dual-wield weapon damage, and then two-handed slashing weapon damage. These are all very specific, and if you're not using those weapons or you're weapon swapping, you won't really notice them, and you really don't ever need to take these when you have something like Worldly Finesse, where these are going to apply a lot more often. So, and they're the exact same multiplier. So that's going to be removed. And then weapon attunement, affixes have been removed. They removed all of the generation with very specific weapons. So these are all really good changes. They're kind of cleaning up the affix pool inside of tempering, which is good to see. Well, hopefully this trend continues, and just most of the fun, interesting, and used aspects are going to stay. So now let's talk about the Melted Heart of Selig and why this is going to be so important. Now, we already talked about how your Hammer of the Ancients is going to scale off of your maximum fury. On the PTR, we already talked about how absolutely insane it was. They changed it from 3% of your primary, of each point of your primary stat. You gained 3% of your primary resource for each point. Now, if you look at this here, we had almost 4,000, and you'd have that 4,000 times that 3%. It is just overwhelmingly huge, and there were barbarians that had upwards of 50,000 fury. Then you take something like Romuladnes, and Romuladnes is going to be used in Hammer of the Ancients, and we'll talk about why soon. Romuladnes is going to take half of whatever your maximum fury is and give it a multiplier. So if you have 50,000 maximum fury, you now have a 25,000x increase to your damage. Unheard of. The biggest ones that we're getting right now is 300-400. So this was very, very broken on the PTR. So this has been changed now. What Selig is going to do is that the primary resources is going to be doubled. So whatever you can get to with your primary resources, it's going to double that. Then we're going to take all of those things that are going to be scaling off of your maximum resources, like your Melted Heart of Selig, or your Ramalotnes, or your Hammer of the Ancients, and now we're going to take multipliers off of those, which will still be very big, and it's still going to be a very important part of this. So Selig is viable and will be used, and it is in a very important slot. It's in the amulet. So things are going to change around how we build, because everything that the Barbarian has is going to be built around your maximum resources, and Selig will have to be slotted in that spot. There's no other way around it this season. Selig is going to be a staple in the builds. So Ramalotnes, a very big pain point that everybody saw when the patch notes first hit, and all the Barbarians took a big gigantic gasp and were very sad, because it said fix an issue where Ramalotnes Magnum Opus, the Ramalama Ding Dong, was active even when the active skill wasn't using the weapon. So how Ramalotnes works here, if we look at our Ramalotnes, we'll go grab it out of my very, very organized stash here, so don't mind my stash here. Skills using this weapon deal increased damage. So we got confirmation in Season 11 that this is just a tooltip. Sorry, we got confirmation in Season 10 that this is a tooltip error and that it will actually affect every single skill no matter what weapon type you're using, which is not what this reads. So we got that confirmation in Season 10. Everybody's super excited about it, and it did work. Ramalotnes was affecting everything, so it was in a massive amount of builds. Then we get this, where they said they fixed an issue with it. Don't worry, Barbarians. It has been confirmed that it will absolutely 100% work on every build, every skill, no matter what you use. So Ramalotnes is in for the season, and it will be in for Hammer of the Ancients, which is going to be a massive, probably upwards of 600 to 800x increased damage. So if Ramalotnes was taken out, this would have been a pretty big hit to the Hammer of the Ancients build, but we're going to be running it, and I'm pretty excited about it. Here is the Hammer of the Ancients build that we're going to be running. The planners will pretty much be all done and updated, so I'm very excited to bring these out to you. Mobalytics went through a massive change, so we'll update this build here, and I'll show you what it's going to look like now. We now have links in the build to see all of the skills, all of the items. So if you were to see a variant and you were to look through and you saw a passive skill and you didn't really know what it was, then you could actually see right here, heavy-handed. Okay, what is heavy-handed? Do I have to go search in the skill tree to find it? Not anymore. We now can link to it. This is going to be a really great tool for people that are just hopping into build planners, that are just learning a brand new class. And we added in a table of contents. It's going to be constantly updating, but this will allow me to just jump through to whatever section I want to see. Let's say I'm looking for a specific piece of gear that's in the planner, and I'm looking for the Field of Crimson. I can now come down to the boss loot table here, and I can see, okay, Field of Crimson is going to drop from Varshan. Amazing. It's going to make it very, very easy to pop back through. So you've now found, okay, I need to go see Varshan. What other items do I need? I go right back here, and I just click, and it takes me right back to the top. Not only that, make sure that you look at these variants here. We'll be able to swap through all of the variants at different parts of the planner. So it's not just at the very top. It's not like you're going to have to come down, look at the Paragon board, and then you have to scroll back up to the aspects and then switch to the variant and then go back all the way down. You'll be able to do that at each stage. So the people at Mobalytics and the devs there have been working very hard to get these builds updated. Each of these builds here will have a legendary section, and this is your starter. This is where you just at level 60, you want to start building into this. You're going to run only legendary aspects. If you have a unique and it's in the planner, you can put it on. The way these planners work is as you jump through to the unique section here, everything should remain exactly the same, and you can just pop on that piece and you'll still have a nice smooth transition through until the end. Now, just make sure that you look at your end game variants here as you go through the planners and know that, okay, so these items right here might change, so you have a clear vision of how these are going to work. So make sure that you are reading through every single part of the planner. I'm hoping that by the time we get to the launch, we're going to have our arsenal selection, but I have written it into the planner here for anybody that is looking for arsenal selections. They will be written in with a arsenal selection tab here. Mobalytics has promised that they will be bringing a section in the guide where I can actually function with it and show what arsenal selection we're going to be using. In the video, in the planners here, we have videos on how to select your weapon. This will bring it up to a YouTube videos here, and this will explain the arsenal selection, how to use it, how to read a skill tree and know exactly which arsenal setup that you want to use. And I'll have all of those links inside of these planners as well. So Hammer of the Ancients is looking pretty fun. This was Hammer of the Ancients on the PTR here. It just, all we set up was just a straight hammer, nothing else. It was hitting for billions and billions of damage, hundreds of billions of damage, and my character wasn't even geared. We just never stopped hammering. You just constantly go. So I'm very excited to do this build. This will probably be one of my first end game builds. Now, will this be the strongest? Probably not. We are probably still looking at Lunging Strike as being the strongest build. Lunging Strike is, with the way that the mechanics work for this build, it still is going to scale off maximum resources. So Ramalani's is going to play a pretty big role in it. So Lunging Strike is probably still going to be number one, but we're hoping it's not going to be by too much. And we're hoping that Hammer of the Ancients is going to help keep up with it. But Hammer of the Ancients and Lunging Strike will probably be your S tier builds. So we'll be having a build and tier list coming later on this week. I have a little bit more work to do on the planners, and we got a little bit more. I'm going to be getting a spreadsheet set up, and this spreadsheet, I'm thinking I'll be able to get it out to anybody that wants to look at how we're doing the math and how we're figuring things out. So make sure you look out for all of that stuff. And the last thing that I have for everybody is make sure you hop into the Discord. The link will be in the top of the description of the video. Even though the start date has changed, we're still going to be putting on some leveling groups. Once they go back to your normal start time, which I'm assuming it probably will, every single season, what we do is we get a random group of 4 people. You're randomly assigned. You don't have to go out and find it. We'll assign you to a group. You go out into the new season together. You can share gear. You can share runes. You can explore all of the brand new content together. It is incredibly fun to do. So I highly suggest click the Discord link, hop in. Even if you don't want to get into the groups, the trade chat blows up all day long. There's a lot of people in voice chat every single day. It's a really great place if you want to meet some people that really love playing Diablo 4. That's all I got for you today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you share it with your friends. Thank you everybody for watching. All right. Will Whirlwind be viable? Whirlwind what? Any Whirlwind? Your Whirlwind? Whirlwind Quakes? Whirlwind Dust Devils? Whirlwind Hoda? Whirlwind? I wouldn't say I nailed it. I had a couple little slip-ups in there. 40 watch streak. Love it. Yes. Whirlwind Quake for sure. Especially with Selig and with the changes to Selig, Whirlwind Quake will be pretty insane. You want to know the crazy thing? I forgot to hit the record button before. After like 30 minutes of recording. And not just once. I also recorded a whole section with my mic muted. It's, yeah, I've had some great moments recording things. The other night when I was trying to upload my recap video, it was already late. And I was ready to go to bed. And I exported the video. And I did everything. I got the title done. I got the description done. I was uploading everything. And then I was closing down some of the tabs and I realized that I didn't put the gameplay loop in, and I left a 3-4 minute gap in the video, and I had to cancel it. Yes, at least 2 barbarian builds in S tier, Oda and Lunging Strike. And we'll have to see what the season brings out. But they got some, they're going to be very good this season. Okay. Yes, you can still use pull. Yep. No, I had to cancel the upload, and it had already been sitting there in checks for like 15 minutes. So I had to cancel it. Then I had to just and then what I realized is that the audio of the trailer that I wanted to put in didn't get recorded at all. And there was like almost no audio, so then I had to cut it, and then I had to go back out and cut the parts of the video out where I was talking about it. So then I had to re-export it, then I had to re-upload it, and it was like after midnight by the time I finally got to go to sleep, and then I had to get up at 4:30. I was just ready for bed. Ready for bed. All right, Hugo, come on. Okay, buddy. All right. Okay. Yep, I know. I got lucky last night. I got 5. So, it was good. I noticed a difference. All right, so let's finish this planner up here. Make sure this one's good, and then we'll move on to the next one. Always barbarian. Always. What other caps? I don't think there's any other caps. I mean, we're not going to actually have 10 earthquakes out, and we're not going to have 100% earthquake size. So I don't really need those. What? Attack speed? Cap, exactly. I need to look up the attack speed caps for the barbarians and put them in this. They're on max roll, right? Barbarian here. Okay. Maxroll has kind of a DPS calculator on it. Yeah, we'll do this after I get all of the builds updated. But I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be doing. I'm find out. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of work on Tuesday when I'm off. Yeah, they don't give it. They don't give much of anything. It's all has to be done based on testing. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Yeah, everybody does like it. All open. I think I want to do this. Okay. This will give us, this is going to change 100 and increase. Oh wait, no, this is different. I wish there was something that I could link to earthquakes, but it's not an actual skill. It's so weird because it's not an actual skill. So there's nothing in the game that says earthquakes does this much damage at all. It's just earthquakes. Red Fear, Banished Lord Talisman, Ariet's Bearings. Do we even use, are we using, oh, we have both in here. It's Bolt's Will, Mantle of Mountain's Fury. We do need to use that. Ramalama Ding Dong. Oop. Nope. Okay, apparently not. That's fine. Amount of resources. Scouts. Hey, Abraham. That's I mean, all variants are going to use mythics, no matter what. So if you're competing against mythics, it won't be meta. Meta means top. Best class. Like, highest damage. So you can make a strong build without mythics. But meta builds will always be running up against mythics, so it's just part of the game now. But you'll have you can have plenty of builds. Like, you can make any build clear Torment 4 without mythics. We'll see what it feels like in Season 11, but... Hey, Jay, welcome in. Not, thank you for that. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. For anybody that is just joining us, I'm Cliptus. I am the official Barbarian writer for Mobalytics, and I am super excited about the Barbarian this season. It is what I'm working on right now. We're building some planners. Mobalytics just went through a massive overhaul, and I'm super excited to get the planners and stuff out to everybody. That's what we're working on right now. I love that transition. It's so nice. What were you up to today, Rizzer? Yeah, absolutely. Barbarian. Which, I never farm mythics. If they drop, they drop for me. I never really care too much about it. I've never had any issue finding them, but I think probably... I mean, Season 2 was definitely the hardest. Well, so, okay, Season 1 was the hardest because nobody found any. But Season 2, when they added in target farming, was very difficult to find mythics. I found them, but it was very difficult. Anything good with Mighty Throw? Mighty Throw hasn't really changed much. But with Selig and with Ramalades affecting everything, Mighty Throw will be strong. How was D3? I can do this, right? Check it out. I can do this. Oh, man. Variant. Look at that. I love this. So watch this. This is just to help people with variants, because variants are very, very hard for people to see. Right here. If people are reading through, this is going to be your first variant after hitting level 60. You can add unique items in as you find them. Just use the unique variant, and it takes me right to the unique variant. Amazing. Amazing. Boom. That is very cool. It was back when mythics were still the same color. When mythics were the same color as legendary or as unique gear, people salvaged so many of them by accident because they didn't know. Hey, exceptional. People salvaged so many mythics. I remember when somebody grabbed melted, or as soon as Tyrael's Might was introduced into the game, they picked one up in Helltides. They're like, "What is this? Has anybody seen this before? Should I salvage it? Is it any good? Is it just the same color as a unique?" What are the best boots for a whirlwind build? Which whirlwind build? Did that clip work? Okay, it did work. I was just getting that clip. I wanted to just post it in the Mobalytics Discord. and say thank you for this awesome stuff. Okay. You forgot to favorite it. Oh my gosh. You must have been happy about that one. Okay. Mobalytics. Feedback. Copy link. Maybe let me just download it instead. Download landscape version. Half asleep is moving gear around. Oh god, that's the worst. So I have a clip, and it wasn't um a 4GA Shaco. That's way worse. But this was back seasons ago when, or I think might have been when Ramalodnies first started getting used. And I was on stream just talking to people, and I went over to the blacksmith and salvaged my gear, and immediately froze. I got Obdicite back. And I was like, what did I just do? And I panic froze. I just sat there for a second. And then someone told me, they're like, you salvaged your Ramalodnies. And I had just triple masterwork crit it. It was a perfect aspect on the one that we need. I was real bad. It was real bad. And people even this season have commented on that short. People are still looking at it. It's real. It was a bad moment for me. All right, and then we're going to talk about this real quick. For anybody that is new here, I'm giving this away this month. You can type in !! giveaway on Twitch or on YouTube, and it'll bring it up. Mythic, no, I have not. After the Ramalodnies, I've never not favorited everything. I accidentally ordered the graphics card when I upgraded my streaming PC. And instead of sending it back, I'm just going to give it away. So if you guys want to get in on it, I'm putting all of the entries here. So you guys can check it out. And you guys can make sure your names are there if you enter. And then you can see all of the entries here. So it'll be up there for everybody. And I'm updating that at the end of the stream. Ooh. Oh, I can't do that. Oops. Oh, wait, here. Change here. Let's open in a new tab, even better. Oh, wait, okay, so question, answer, go. Do For these links here, would you rather, because I'm building this for everybody out there, would you rather this here? Would you rather when I click it, it takes you right to the unique tab? Or would you rather it do this here and open up another variant in that tab there? So that you don't have to get out of the current tab that you're in. Or does it not matter that much? Am I overthinking this? Coda? Oh, I wonder what. Well, I guess never mind. I know what it's going to be. All right, I think this planner is done. I think Hoda is done. Now I need to take Lunging Strike into the next generation. Oh, wait. Maybe I should do my leveling builds first and see how this looks. Leveling guide here. How does this look here? I don't really need to change this. Lunging Strike. That's what you want. Want Rallying Cry before Ground Stomp. Wonder if it would just be like your ultimate skill. But if we did another planner here, what does it look like now? They made some very big changes. This just says 11 still. So does that say the same? Okay, I guess we'll find out when we get into the game. But it's one open up here. So for a whirlwind build for leveling, you just do Lunging Strike once, and then you can go into whirlwind, and then you can get Rallying Cry, or you can get Ground Stomp, and then you can get enhanced Ground Stomp so that you can have Fury generation, because that's the tough part about whirlwind early on. So it just makes it a lot faster now. I don't think that we're gonna have these right away. Because you earn by battling Duriel in the Undercity, and earn by battling Dariel in the Undercity. So we won't even have these for leveling guides. Asmodan you can get though. You can battle Asmodan in the overworld. So we'll do a corrupted spot. We'll add that in. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We definitely want this. You're vulnerable while fighting world bosses. You have to stay alive for the world boss too. We can't beat Belial either. Honestly, let's just remove these. We don't need these. We do want these for sure though. These are the ones that you need to go and get right away. And this one needs to be corrupted. Squalor needs to be corrupted. And then Lies needs to be purified. Oh, wait. Wait, am I in the wrong one? Yep, I'm in the wrong one. I'm in Belial. I need Duriel, which is pain. Pangs of Duriel drop socketables in Helltides, but we still want this one to be in pain and squalor. With rewards, maggots will get experience globes. Hey, Hala, how's it going? Yep, perfect. Okay. Wait, what is it? Pain, squalor, pain, squalor. Okay. I'm gonna leave this the same. Hey, Dare. Level 10, tempering unlocks. I think I can probably add this one. I think this is done. Wait, whirlwind. I'm gonna remove this here. And then we're gonna also remove that. I'm not done. So we gotta get rid of that. Frenzy's gone. Do I have leap on the bar? Nope. Okay. Leap. 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 Beautiful. Okay, update. I think this one is good to go. I think this, you guys, this is the build I'm going to be leveling with. But this build here requires earthquakes. Edit. Use lunging strike to cap earthquakes. Okay. You okay, buddy? Won't find. Bonnie. Bonnie was a plus. Back. Whirlwind. Whirlwind leveling guide, right? Whirlwind leveling guide. Yep. Copy. We edit. Whirlwind. Or with that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Gotta get this though. We'll have to put this in every guide here. Hey, Para, how's it going? Whoops. Afternoon from Australia. Very nice. Good evening from Hawaii. Okay, buddy. Okay. Hey, Britt. Or is it Britt the top bear? Let me go grab my dog's bed real quick. I'll be right back. Hey, Jimmy. Bree, thank you. Rye? Bree? Watch the video. Cool. Bar tips. I saw you were live. Yeah. Every night. This time, I'm live. This one, I think, is now done. Offense. Leveling walkthrough. Dungeon aspects. Dropped aspects. Starting leveling build. YouTube lunging strikes here. That's not updated for season 11. And then we have... No, this is a recording. But I knew that you would ask that, so I put that into the recording. That's why I responded to you. Big brain stuff. Then we have our endgame variant, endgame planner. Oh, I can do this, though. Ah, this is so nice. Lunching. That must be hungry. Lunging strike game guide. Endgame planner, endgame planner, planner. Save. All right, hold that. Can I do that? Yes. Okay. Want to go Barb or Necro? Well, does this help at all? We do. Fuck. Right. Should I just do that on the front? I wonder if that would look good. Not only that, you can get a hoodie. You can get a mouse pad. You can get a tumbler. You can get a mug. You can get stickers. Full Barb Nation. Oh, techniques. I completely forgot. I have to change all the techniques too. Oh, we're going to, I think we're going polearm. We're gonna go polearm. No, maybe we go two-handed mace for leveling. For leveling, I think we go two-handed mace. But we won't be berserking all the time. During leveling. Polearm then? We will see how that plays out, Justin. They also said they would release an expansion pack once every year, but that didn't work out either. And I don't trust anything that's data mined. Okay, perfect. We're gonna go with that right there. Two-handed mace setup. Weapon selection. Your weapon, we'll do arsenal selection. Or how's it worded in game? Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely barbarian size for sure. Yeah, for sure. So this is technique, but it actually is expertise. But this says technique here. Okay. So then we'll just say weapon, technique, expertise. We'll do both. Technique, X. I'm not too sure, Para. I don't know if they just, if it wasn't ready, or if they want a little bit more time. I also know that the developers also go on vacation for a week, I believe, around Christmas time. So I don't know if they just didn't want to launch something brand new when they were going to be gone, and then things could completely break and they wouldn't be around to fix it. I'm not too sure. Yeah, maybe something like that, Jimmy. Does this change here if I go to this here? So if I go to... It does. Oh, cool. So that means I can take this here, and I can come up here. I'm learning so much right now. And I can go with your... I mean, this is just until... Wait, did that just do it for me? Whoa. Technology, that's crazy. I didn't even know that I could do things like that. Huh. Bananas. Very cool. A lot of the aspects in the variants are drop only, so if you don't aspects you find... But that means that I can do this also. Dungeon aspects and dropped aspects. Changes the variant number in the URL. I take that URL, and then I can come back up to the build variant here, and I can highlight aspects and copy, paste a link inside of aspects. And it just does it for me automatically. Crazy. Love it. And we're going to do this here. We're going to do... I have a lot more work to do on these planners now. This here. This here. Okay, so then... Wait, this says... aspects. I want this to be bold. And I want this to be for gear at these levels. Take anything that is an upgrade that has an aspect on it. Any legendary gear. I'm gonna go with dungeon aspect here. I love when there's like new and exciting updates to things. It was okay, that is capitalized. Edit aspect. And we also want to make that bold. Amazing. Tempering, enchanting resistances, armor. Then for this here. Or fine gifts. And then I can link my video about divine gifts Wrong, Waffle. Can't make up your mind? She can't figure out what she wants. I think it was this one here. Yeah, divine gifts. Copy here. And then we highlight, paste. Done. Amazing. Oh, you know what I can do with that too? Wait, does Mobalytics? No, Mobalytics doesn't have it. Do they have it? Edit. Open tab in a new link. Awesome. I don't think they do. So. Held side timer here. Look at this. The possibilities are endless. And area will be in Hell Tides. Important. Fine. Gift for the whoops. Nope. Gift. For the leveling process. Now I will put that on each of the variants. Okay. Oh, no, wait. We want to do. Yeah, that's okay. Rallying cry. Nope. I want power warcry at warcry. Oh no, there's no and rallying cry and warcry on cooldown. Um. Hey Norbert, how's it going today? Leveling strategy, testing, and research document. I'm doing good. Tired, but good. Doing good. Uh, all of the ancients. Nope. It should be. There we go. Pull down on your. Oops. Cancel. Rings. That's we're going to be getting incense and elixirs also as well in the planners, so that'll be an option to select too. It is on the 11th. So now, full board. Planner. We can get lunging strike. Lunching strike. And paste it right in and done. Easy. Open in another tab. Oops. There. Perfect. Too easy. Too easy. Okay. Seems like there might be like a little cooldown on when the planner moves around with the table of contents. I really like the table of contents though. So on Tuesday, this is going to be kind of fun. I'm trying to take my building skills to the next level for these planners, because most of what I'm doing is just based off of what I know about the game and what I've done playing. So I'm going to start adding a little bit of math in, and I'm going to get some help from Beat Dropper, who is incredibly good. I saw his setup for his spreadsheet that he has that he uses to calculate the build strength, and it's insane. So Tuesday, he said that he would sit down and help me with the setup. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'll probably stream it in case anybody wants like a real, like, nerdy number session for some build planning. Get into the real math of the builds and get something set up so that I think I'm going to see, I probably will be able to put it into the Sheets document that we have here so people can see the calculations and stuff for the builds. So I think I'm going to probably do something like that. So I'm thinking Tuesday I'll probably stream it so that for anybody that wants to like get into the guts of it. All right, everybody. I'm gonna go raid. I gotta work in the morning, nice and early, but I'm finally off on Tuesday, and I'm off Wednesday, and I have a short shift Thursday. That's when the Game Awards are live, so we'll be streaming quite a bit more very, very soon, and I'll be losing more sleep, but that's okay. So I hope you guys have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Catch you on the clip side. Thanks for lurking, Kuso. Good night, machine.